I'm Tim, and I work with the IT director here at Metabolic, and apparently I am the first intern here at Metabolic.
I'm Kaylene Pena, and I am a junior at Ridgeview High School, and I work at Foresight Learning Center.
My name is Jack McKenzie. I go to Redmond High School, and I'm a senior there. And at Composite Approach, I am a layup technician and also a material cutter.
Hi, my name is Jeff Barth, and I interned at EDCO for 6 months last year. I was the business and development intern. Currently, I work at G5 as a digital advertising associate.
I am currently going to COCC as a third year, and I am studying for CIS networking degree. Before metabolic maintenance, I worked really early morning, and I just happened to look at an email from a teacher at COCC. After sending all my information to Larry from Youth CareerConnect, we both met up at Redmond, and we talked about how should I pursue the interview, what advice he gave me to remember during the interview, and how should I apply it during the interview.
My plan after high school is I want to go to a 4-year college university to become a pediatrician, and working at Foresight Learning Center has solidified my decision in becoming a pediatrician. I heard of Youth CareerConnect through one of our announcements in class. I decided to make an appointment with Larry Holeman. After he had told me that there was opportunities to work at Foresight Learning Center, I just started working through internships.
I started as an intern back in 2016, and now I'm a permanent employee at Composite Approach. I want to be a mechanical engineer, so being in a manufacturing environment is really cool.
Before working here at EDCO, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and after working here for a few months, I was able to learn the skills I needed to apply for jobs that were more specialized in the marketing field, and now I've really narrowed it down.
My favorite part of the internship so far is that I get to work with an amazing IT director. The experience I gained here in Metabolic literally opened my eyes that this is the career I wanted to do for my life.
I got a lot out of my internship, but the most important thing, I was able to network with people in Bend and the people at EDCO, and they really helped me get a great job.
The internship here at Metabolic is totally worth it, and if I had the chance to do it again, I would do it without question.
My advice for any student looking for an internship would probably be just to be open to the possibilities. It may not be what you want, but you could get a lot out of the learning experience of trying it.
I would highly suggest doing an internship actually instead of a normal job, especially just because you can get the real life experience.
I would do my internship again. It was a fun 6 months. I was really busy, but I would totally do it again, and because all the connections I made were perfect.
Morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for this event. As always, a signature event. Good thing they brought me some water. And our local business community. My name is Evan Dickens. I'm a CPA and a partner with Jones and Roth CPAs and business advisors here in Central Oregon. EDCO has asked me to moderate a panel discussion this afternoon focusing on Youth CareerConnect, which is the region's internship program, and the impact that program is having on both students and on business owners. Youth CareerConnect has been years in the making, bringing together multiple partners across the region to help nurture the future workforce of Central Oregon. We have a panel of 3 individuals who are going to talk about this today. Larry Holeman is the Bend and Sisters Internship Coordinator for EDCO and the Managing Director of Youth CareerConnect. Karin Crouch is the Dean of Students at Ridgeview High School, a former business teacher in the Redmond schools for 15 years, and the parent of 2 interns. And Gary Lynch is the owner of Lynch Pro-formance Products, a manufacturing company in Redmond that participates in this internship program. Can you all please welcome our panel for me? So first question, Larry, let's talk about internships in general. Are internships geared toward a specific type of industry or any specific type of business?
No, we throw the net really wide, because who are we to take and say what a student may want to do or what business wants to take and participate? So we are open to providing opportunities for students and businesses to participate across the board.
So Gary, I'll ask you this question as the owner of a business that uses interns. Talk about what does an intern do just on a regular day? What kind of work would an intern expect to do in your business?
Well, they would come in and participate with helping us make products, ideas about products, packaging, things like that. Basically, we do a lot with what they're interested in also. They may want to talk about things, or they may want to learn about other things other than just what we do.
So it's interesting you just used the word ideas. So an internship for you is not we're going to give you a specific task list. It's we're actually interested in hearing some of your thoughts about what we're doing.
Exactly. It's all about them. They're there to try to learn something for themselves, to better themselves in the future, and maybe help them decide in different directions they want to go. And I personally like to spend a lot of time with that person as far as what his needs are. It's not about what my needs are, it's about what his needs are and why he wants to be there.
So Karin, I have a 13-year-old daughter. I'm extremely interested in putting her to work as soon as possible, preferably a job that doesn't allow her to touch a cell phone. Can you tell me a little bit about at what age does an internship start? How young are these interns possibly?
Well, I think the internship starts with us as a community talking to our students. When you see a middle schooler or a high schooler, don't just ask, how are your classes? How are your grades? Ask them, how's your professional development going? Because your skills that you learn at school are then taken into the workplace. So at that 13-year-old, getting odd jobs, saving money, talking about expenses and revenues and what their goals are so they can learn to save and reach those goals. And then it gets them more invested in, I need to have some kind of job that I'm making money so that I can reach those financial goals that I have, and they'll be looking for opportunities. So you can be 14, 15 years old in a high school classroom and start getting information for your resume for when you're ready at 15 and 16 to go and get an internship. If it's a volunteer internship and there's not an issue with any kind of liability, they can start at 15. Sometimes the liability makes it 18 years old.
Sure. So what is the benefit, Larry, I'll ask you this first, from the business's perspective, what would the benefit to one of these businesses represented out here, what would their benefit be from having an intern?
I think the benefits are, they're very wide. There's a number of them. But the way that I look at it is the fact that the students are in a classroom. They're learning daily. So what they're doing is they're bringing information in, they're soaking it up, they're taking on tasks. In other words, they're expanding on what they're learning. They have deadlines. In other words, they can relate that to a project or something that you're going to have within your business. They're already engaged in a learning and delivery mode, right? So while they may not have a lot of experience, you're bringing them in and they're eager and they're hungry to learn, and that's what this is about. And this is where not only can you take advantage of what they're learning in the schools, which is phenomenal, by the way. I'm amazed every single day at the talent that from a high school up through college and university levels. It just amazes me. But you can take advantage of that. You're helping out the emerging workforce. You're helping out a student being able to test out the waters a little bit, so to speak. And so the benefits are across the board, not only for the business. You're going to take and have a lot of success bringing in a student. You're going to take and help that student out. So take a look at it from the standpoint, they're doing this sort of work already. They expect to be given tasks, and they want to learn and participate in your company.
And Gary, from the perspective of a business owner, tell me what positive impact within the business does having an intern have?
Well, I think the greatest thing is the feeling of helping somebody else help themselves. Providing a place to do this, tools to work with, depending on what it is that they want to do. I think the thing that makes me feel the best is just being able to provide those things for somebody that wants to learn and better themselves, be a little more sure about what they want to do in the future. When I was these kids' age, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do in the future, and I think it's really neat that they're out there trying to find that out and experimenting with different things. I think it would be a great idea for an intern to try many types of different businesses, to know a little more about maybe what he would want to do instead of find out later that there was other things that he would have wanted to do. And I like being part of that because it just makes all of us feel good that we maybe played a little part in that.
It's wonderful. Karin, Larry, you are both parents of interns. Karin, I'll start with you. So as a parent, what benefits do you see in your child having the chance to have this type of work experience?
So you can't be late to work or you lose your job. Yay! So I have twins that both did an internship last summer, and it was a great opportunity for them to go into a work environment and use the skills that they've been studying through school. They are both sophomores this year in college. And my daughter wants to come back, and she's looking on the website currently for a marketing internship because she had a really good experience with our community member. I think that the benefit for you, talk to all of your friends that have children, is getting our students to understand that bell to bell and doing the same thing that the other students are doing doesn't differentiate them in the world they are in today. Being a student athlete doesn't differentiate you because there's a lot of student athletes. They need to do something that makes them unique and has a story behind it so that they may go to an internship or a scholarship for whatever they're trying to pursue. They actually have the confidence and have talked to adults rather than text or make a phone call, that they're capable of understanding what professional dress and a professional experience is all about. The confidence I've seen in my two children, they also did FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders. They have exhibited, and it's said several times, they're very comfortable knowing what to do in an environment of adults. And we want our students to be confident and committed to their future.
Larry, anything you want to add as far as being a parent?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my youngest daughter is currently in an internship at Portland State University and working directly with a professor, and the research that she's doing is helping her understand that the career path that she's currently trying to go down is exactly where she wants to be. And she's told me directly that if she hadn't have got the internship, she wasn't sure whether this was the pathway that she was going to go. So this is a testament for being able to test the waters, for getting them started early and trying to take and make sure that they don't go down a path that takes and says, hey, I just went through 4 or 5 years worth of college, and now I'm going to go and start over again and do something else because it's not what I want. So it's really important that we try to parallel some sort of work experience to their education so that they can maximize.
It's great, thank you. Gary, we were talking a little bit beforehand, and you made a comment that I thought was just wonderful. We were talking about Karin and Larry being parents of interns, and you talked about how as a business owner, often with your interns, it's almost like you're serving as a parent to them at the office. You want to talk just a little bit about that?
Well, if you care about them, you end up feeling that way, and it's just great. This one young fellow that we worked with, he was really shy, I guess would be the word for it, and he needed to come out of his shell, and he didn't have much of a handshake and this and that, but by the time we got working with him and teasing him a little bit and exposing him to a lot of different types of situations and tools and race cars and going to the races and working on things and products, just a lot of stuff, he just started to open up and started to become more interested in things, and I mean, he wouldn't look at the ground all the time. He'd hold his head up. He'd go get a haircut. I mean, he went from one end to the other, and we just had a great time watching him grow, and that's what I mean. I think it was better for me than it was for him. It just being able to be part of that and to see what effect a little bit of time to spend with this fella, this kid, and to see him grow into a young man in a very short time.
That's fantastic. I can give a little personal perspective from Jones and Roth CPAs. We're a firm of 12 partners. 6 of our 12 partners began our careers as interns at Jones and Roth. I'm joined by colleagues Brian Newton and Tevin Preston, both of whom started their careers again in that program at Jones and Roth. I started as a tax preparation intern preparing basic 1040s for less than what is now minimum wage, and have become, through 16 years of hard work, a partner. That leads me into my next question, which is relevant to parents and to the students, certainly. Are these internships paid internships?
It's a mix. It's paid and unpaid. Since we've started, it's about 80% paid, 20% unpaid. It fluctuates based on who comes to the table. We look at it in the sense of what's the value that you're getting out of this. So if there's a particular internship where the company is saying, look, we're going to do it unpaid, but this is what the student's going to get out of it, the learning experience, and such like that. The students will make that decision. So, but about 80% is what the number seems to turn out to where they're paid.
The internships that you've referred to, the marketing internship and your internships, those were paid internships as well?
Mine was not.
Yours was not, okay.
It cost me a lot of money.
It was worth every dollar, no doubt.
That's right.
Gary, what advice would you have from your perspective for a business that is interested in starting an internship program? How would you tell them to handle it? Something you wish you would have known before starting an internship program?
Just really want to do it, really care about it. I think that's the most important thing, because it does take a lot of time, and in my case, we bought a lot of tools and we did things like that. I let him outfit his own toolbox so he would feel like it was his own, and when he come in there, he'd put his stuff down, he had his own toolbox, and he could work on race cars, he could work on regular cars, we could just talk about stuff. A lot of times we'd work a little bit, and then we'd be waiting for his dad to come and pick him up, and we would just get into some really good conversations and stuff, and I think that was probably just as important as the toolbox and the cars and the race cars and everything else, because I really feel that just him thinking somebody cared a lot about him to take the time away from what I should have been doing, I think that he really appreciated that, and I think that was the main factor. We both appreciated each other.
About 5 minutes left in this. Larry, do you want to add to that as far as advice that you would give businesses, that something they need to know before their internships?
Yeah, I think the main thing is to find out about the program. Find out whether internally you can take and support a youth coming in, and learn about it. Get in touch with me or one of the coordinators and find out. Have the conversation. The schools are extremely supportive of this program. There's a lot of students who are hungry to learn, and it takes a community to make this work. It's not one school, it's not one business, it's not a coordinator or EDCO. If we don't work together, our emerging workforce is going to be weaker. Through this program, it's going to be a lot stronger, it's going to help students, and it's going to help your business.
Karin, any final thoughts you want to add from the perspective of a parent, what you would want to make sure parents and students know about this process before they get started?
Well, I'm sure some of you are parents currently of middle or teenagers, but you know parents, and parents need to be asking and knowing about these kind of programs and getting the interest of their students, because it's so important, because our teenagers don't necessarily seek out more work, right? And so we have to investigate with them, hold their hand through this, and give them the reason why. We all do things for a why reason. If they don't have a reason why to do something, they're going to just collect some credits and be on their way with their diploma and on to the next step. But we want this community to be stronger. I've spent my entire life in Central Oregon, went off to college, and then brought my family back. It is a wonderful opportunity to live here, and unless we all get together and build a workforce of our students having more skills than what the state requires us to have as a high school diploma, we will not have a workforce with strength and vigor. So I really encourage you to think about our youth and giving them an opportunity rather than the regular summer experience of jobs that they can get.
Excellent. Thank you. Larry, let's talk about final thought here. What if I'm a business out there and I want to get involved in the program? What's the next step?
Well, it's really easy. There's two different ways. One is you see a vase on each table. If you want to throw a business card in there, we will be sure to reach out and connect with you. That's number one. Also, you can go on our website. There's definitely communication on the info page, phone numbers, emails. Reach out. If you know a business who's supported the internship program, no matter where it is, say, hey, I'd like to get involved. How does this work? You know, like I said, we build this as a community, but we are here to help. You will get a response. I love having the opportunity to meet with as many companies and businesses as I possibly can.
Great. So again, those vases, I believe you said that word correctly, as opposed to the way I say it, within the center of your table, drop a business card in there. EDCO will reach out to you and contact you with more information on the internship program. Thank you very much, Gary, Karin, Larry. Thank you for your time. Will you please thank our panel for me?